We're back again for another refurbishment video, and we need a couple original Xboxes for our walk-in location, so I pulled this out of our stock in the back room to get it ready. And this one actually had a note on it. It said that it was modded. So I was kind of curious because most of the time when I see systems that say they're modded, they're just soft modded, and they actually have the original 8 gig hard drive in them, and that's it. So let's see what we have with this. I just turned it on. I'm just curious what kind of dashboard we have with the system. And it might take a second here, but oh my goodness, look at that. Is just absolutely ancient. Let me get the controller in my other hand here. Okay. So we got different skins, launch applications. Let's see what we got for that. Okay. And I don't think there's any games on the hard drive. Nope. All right, well, this is just a basic soft mod, and let's take a look at the inside real quick. All right, we got the lid off, we're into the system, and it does have the original 8 gig hard drive that's in here. And what people would do back in the day, they get Splinter Cell, do the save game exploit, and soft mod the system. Now people use Rocky 5's soft mod primarily if they're soft modding a system. And I remember people would go rent the games. They would use an application called DVD to Xbox. They put it in here, burn the game to the hard drive, and then just take the the rented game back to like Hollywood Video or whatever people were using. And that's how people would play the games. But we are here, of course, to get this refurbished for one of our walk-in locations. So let's get this out of here. I got the cable unhooked earlier. And let's see the condition of the board. Let me get the disk drive out of here too. Oh boy, yeah, very dusty. And what do we have over here? Holy crap. The clock capacitor has just annihilated the motherboard. Oh my goodness. And this is definitely bad, but somehow we got lucky because the typical symptoms of this damage are you plug it in, it automatically powers on. You don't even need to hit the power button. The controller ports won't even function. A lot of different things. Sometimes there's no power, the disk tray starts acting up. And I mean, we've got some bad corrosive damage, and we're gonna definitely get this cleaned up. So I'm gonna get the motherboard out. All the other caps look okay. I don't see any bulging caps or leaky caps or anything like that. Even the cap over here looks good. So we're just going to get everything cleaned up. We're going to redo the thermals, clean up the inside of the tray, get a new band inside here, clean the laser, and of course we're going to tackle this immediately. And just be careful if you're working on these. The power supply is an open power supply, and if it was plugged in recently, it can hold a charge still on this main capacitor. So we're just going to make sure it is discharged, and it looks like it is okay, but it's always good to be safe. Just a quick warning for you guys. All right, so I've got the board out. I cleaned up all the dust so we could kind of assess the damage a little bit more here. I mean, this one's pretty bad. I've seen much worse, but this is definitely up there with this is not good at all. And this is just from the clock capacitor right here leaking the electrolytic fluid onto the motherboard. And look at how corrosive and destructive that liquid is. So we're going to get this cleaned up with some 99% isopropyl real quick, and hopefully we can salvage what we can and try really hard to not knock off any components that might be just about ready to fall apart. All right, and the area is cleaned up. Everything is looking loads better than it did before. And the next thing we're going to do is redo the thermals. So I'm going to get the old paste off of these real quick. As a part of quality assurance with all these refurbishments that I do, I pull a capacitor out of circuit and test it. And let's see what reading we get here. So basically 3600 microfarad, and it's a 3300 microfarad capacitor. So most capacitors tolerance range is about 20%, which is really common, and this one falls well within that. This one's at like 10% or somewhere around that range. So we are good. The capacitors around the CPU are good. I'm going to pull one of these off and test them, and best practice is just replace all of them, but if they're good, like this one is here, why replace them? So I'm going to put this one back and we'll test a couple other ones, and if we find one out of range, we'll get that replaced. And next, we're going to get the ones tested that were around the damaged area, just to make sure. And you can test the capacitors in circuit, so when they're in the board, but I find it's much more reliable to just quickly remove one and test it outside of the circuit. Okay, we have the one that was closest to that clock capacitor here. This is the one I was the most worried about. And it is a 3300 microfarad, and we are at 3526. So once again, we are well within tolerance. The capacitors on this board look fantastic, so no need to go and replace things that are working perfectly fine. Okay, thermals are redone. We got some nice MX6 thermal paste. Put that on there. And we'll put this one on here, and we'll get the clamps down as well. And then we'll move on to the disk drive. Before someone asks, I did test the ESR of the caps as well, and they are still good. So just before someone says anything, I'm just trying to make a quick video. I do thorough testing, I promise. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to clean the laser. I'm going to take this plastic piece off. I'm going to get the top cleaned up, and then also underneath there's a lens that I'm going to clean as well. And then I'm going to use some white lithium grease. I think I've got some right over here. We're going to get the gears all greased up and then also replace the band that's in here so the drive goes in and out a lot easier. Okay, we're all done. I've got to put back together. We got the lithium grease on the rails here, some grease on these little spots where the plastic does hit each other, and then also the new band, which we can see right there, and then also greased all under here for the gears. So this is good to go. Hopefully it reads discs. Now it's time to clean the shell up as best we can, and we'll get this tested. Definitely loads better than it was before. Okay, let's get it tested now that we got it partially together here. Oh my God, look at that. We've got power. Iconic boot animation. Nice. And here comes that custom dashboard for the soft mod. And I kind of like that too. It feels nostalgic. The characters, just the way it's laid out. Super cool. This drive looks good. Have to test Halo 2, right? Look at that. Very nice. And I think with this dashboard, I don't know if it's going to auto-play it. I don't know how that's set up, but there is a play game / media from DVD. So what we can do is, we'll wait a second, because it is reading. I can hear it's working. We're going to let it sit for just a second. I don't see anything happening, so let's just hit A on this. Loading, please wait. And here goes Halo 2, I would assume. Look at that. Well, we have a successful, I would call this more of just a cleaning service and not really a restoration or a full refurbishment, because really nothing needed to be replaced. The capacitors, ESR ratings, the microfarad ratings, everything was good. None of those needed replaced. The laser, everything needed to just be deep cleaned and tested properly. So really, this is just a good system, good to go. So we are going to put this in our shop for our walk-in business to sell. And of course, comes with a 90-day warranty against any defects or anything that happens. And thanks for watching, guys, and you guys have a good one.